Oh, wait a second. There it is. Can you imagine when the Aztecs take the field? When they go to the field at Qualcomm Stadium to play against Cal Poly in his first game as head coach of the Aztecs football team.
Oh, it's going to be ridiculous.
They'll have it up on the Jumbotron. Just win, Rocky. Just win.
What are we waiting for?
Rocky Long, the head football coach at San Diego State. Good morning, Coach.
Morning, guys. How are you?
We are outstanding. How's things going?
Great.
Yeah. Just got done finishing up recruiting, and how'd that go for you?
We think we did well, but you never know for a couple of years if you did or not, you know.
Yeah. Have you been shouting a lot, Coach? Have you been coaching it up a little bit?
Well, we're in off-season workouts,
right.
And the last couple mornings we've been working out early in the morning, and I guess I've overdone it a little bit, you know. I thought as a head coach you didn't coach as much, but I think you coach more.
So we're sitting here, and we're in the off-season workout. How early are these guys showing up for workouts?
Well, a couple mornings a week we start before 6. I mean, officially we start at 6, but I don't know about you in your business. You're always early because if you come on time, you're late.
Yeah, right.
So it usually starts a little bit before 6. Yeah.
Right.
Now, I remember when I was in college and they pulled this off-season stuff, I would try and have like some kind of minor surgery to get out of it, you know. Somebody scoped my knee. I mean, I don't really need it, but I just don't want to do the off-season stuff. But do you do it really, really early in the morning just with the idea of, I don't want these guys out partying. I don't want them getting fat in the off-season. We're going to get them up early just to make sure they're not out in the bars all night.
No, that's not the reason. The real reason is that if we do it any other time of day, there's class conflicts. And we want them all there at the same time together. So you can't do it any other time.
I've heard a lot of guys now do this early morning practice thing for the same reason. Do you do that?
No, we could here because of the weather, obviously, but I don't like it because...
No, terrible time to practice football.
And you never play at that time.
Right.
You know, so if I had my choice, each week we'd practice on the exact time that we played. But you don't have that choice because of class schedules and all that. So if you played all 1 o'clock games, you'd practice always at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
But you can't do that either.
Coach, I read that you talked about your recruiting class, and you felt like you went out and recruited a lot of athletes. Not necessarily guys who are pigeonholed into a position. Is that accurate?
Yeah, that's very accurate. I think other than offensive linemen, I think you have to really be concerned with size in the offensive line because they're going to have to be big, strong guys that can take on bull rushes and all those sort of things. But other than that position, I think you recruit athletes. Now, some are a little taller maybe that have to grow, get stronger. But if you look at all the great programs in the country right now, in the one in our league is TCU. They recruit 9 or 10 running backs every year, and some of them end up defensive ends, some of them end up linebackers,
right.
Some of them end up wide receivers, and so we took probably 8 running backs in this class. Now, there's only 3 of them listed at running back, or maybe 4 of them listed at running back. A couple of them are listed at wide receiver, a couple of them are listed at corner, a couple of them are listed at safety. But I think most high schools, their better players are at quarterback, better athletes are at quarterback and running back, and those guys are good athletes for the rest of their lives.
And you notice that there's a certain linebacker you guys signed named Micah Seau. That's a name that automatically gets your attention
Sure.
and grabs your ear. And tell us a little bit about him and what he's going to be doing in your defense.
Well, I mean, he played a lot of positions in high school. He played tight end, a little fullback. He played middle linebacker or inside linebacker for them. And that's where he's going to start with us, at inside linebacker. But they were on the athlete theme again. You know, he's played a lot of positions.
Yeah.
He starts on their basketball team.
Where's he go to school? Where's he go to high school?
La Jolla.
Oh, he does?
Yeah. He starts on their basketball team. He's usually inside, but he's not always inside. I mean, he's a good enough athlete to play on the perimeter a little bit. And he's a big guy. I mean, right now he's probably 6'3". He's 220, 215, 220.
Is this Junior's nephew?
Yes, son.
No, it's his nephew.
Nephew.
Yeah, nephew.
Did you talk with Junior about it?
No, I didn't. But that's kind of a funny deal for a kid. I don't know how they handle it in that family, but I've been around it before, and when you have that name, you know, there's expectations, and so there's a little more pressure on him than there is someone without that kind of name.
Yeah.
I don't know how close the young man is to Junior. I saw Junior on Tuesday night. Still looks, I mean, like you look at him and you're going,
he can still play.
I can't believe just how gigantic. Every time I'm with Junior, I'm like, I can't believe how big he is. But it'd be nice to have Junior around the program a little bit. I mean,
it'd be nice to put a uniform on him.
Big
I don't
time.
care how old he is.
Big time.
I mean, if we could put a uniform on him, that'd make a huge difference.
Get him out there and let him start killing
yeah,
people.
right. Go.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Coach, you wearing a watch?
No, I'm not.
Attention all campers. It's now 9:30.
Just in case you have to be anywhere.
That's all we're saying.
Just wanted to let you know.
Okay,
what
thank
time
you.
it was. Talking to Coach Rocky Long. So I would think, and Billy Ray and I chatted a little bit about it this morning with Ryan Lindley. You tell us. Yeah, there are 3 games in advance of that Michigan game, but will you circle it? Will you talk about it? Will you make it a season goal? I mean, you hate to make a season about one game, especially 4 weeks in, but I would think that's got to be a more significant game than ever before.
I think it only is because everybody will make it that way. I think to our team it's not. I really don't. I think they'll have some special feelings once we get there, but leading up to it, there's not going to be any. I mean, hopefully Ryan said the right thing too. If you look at our very first game, Cal Poly, it seems to me since I've looked in history that Cal Poly's been here 2 times over the last few years, and both times Cal Poly won.
Oh, listen, embarrassed San Diego State and set a really bad tone for fans like, well, why do I need to go see that? They just lost to a lesser opponent.
So to me, that's a whole lot more important than Michigan, and that to get started off the right way and all that. And our number one goal is to win the conference championship. Michigan just happens to be the team that we play before we go into conference. Now because of the coaching change, I mean, to fans, that's going to be an unbelievable game. And I'm sure when we get on the plane to fly back there, the nerves will be a little stronger than they normally are with our team. But we're not going to make a big deal out of it until that week because there's a lot of things to do. And I'm not just doing coach speak here. I mean, Cal Poly, we got to beat them. We got to. I mean, that's the way it is. And then after that, we'll worry about the next one. But I'm not going to try to make a bigger deal out of it, but everybody else is going to try to make a bigger deal out of it. Sure.
Well,
yeah.
sure. We are. We're going to make a much bigger deal. Just so you know, we're going to make a gigantic deal out of it. And whether you want to play along, I mean, we'd like you to. Be nice, Coach, if you would. Coach, it is really exciting. I don't know how many people have taken a look at the home schedule this year, but I sense from people that there is a lot of excitement about this team. About Lindley being a senior, about Hillman going into his sophomore year. You know, you win the Poinsettia Bowl. You look at the home schedule this year. I mean, Boise State comes to town. You got a Pac-10 school in Washington State, even though they've been down over the last few years. They're coming into town. It's a nice home schedule this year. TCU will be here.
Fresno State.
Fresno State, too.
Yeah, I mean, you can't beat the home schedule. And we got 7 home games, which is nice, but you're talking about quality opponents right there. I mean, they're fun to watch. They're going to be hard for us to beat. I think we're up to the challenge. I think it'll be a very competitive game whenever we play those kind of teams. Fresno State's coming in the league, and that's a natural rival, and they're the last game of the year. But, I mean, yeah, I think the home schedule is as good as it can get.
If we would have talked, I don't know, right after the Poinsettia Bowl, and you were still the defensive coordinator, and I said, Rocky, would you think next year's team's going to be better than this team that just won 9 games and won the Poinsettia Bowl? What would your answer have been then?
That I think we'll be better on defense, but I'm worried about who's going to be the wide receivers.
Answer the same today?
Exactly the same.
Yeah.
I mean, we have a very good, experienced quarterback that's going to have a great year. And he can probably make young receivers look a little bit better. But he can't do it without those guys. And I have no idea who those guys are right now. I mean, the 2 that left, they had great years. They were both seniors, and they did most of the work. I mean, we have a few guys that played a little bit, but nobody that played any significant time or caught a significant number of passes. Now our tight ends did. Mm-hmm. You know, our tight ends caught some balls.
Well, you want to talk about opportunity for some guys. These guys that are going to elevate their level of play and play at wide receiver, this is a huge chance for these guys.
Oh, it's unbelievable. And we have some good young athletes in the program that have the ability to do it. And you would think that they're excited, I'm sure, because who's throwing the ball to them?
Yeah, right on.
They just have to get open because he'll get them the ball. Just get open.
Spring ball's about to start. Public open. Can the public come and watch some of these practices or no?
We're going to open some of them. We're not going to open the first week of practices because the team has to get used to the coaches. They have to get used to our style, and everybody that's played the game knows what that means. So we have to work all the kinks before we actually let somebody come in that's not part of us and watch. because there'll be some differences. There'll be some things that there's more pressure, there's more heat, and they have to handle it right, and they have to learn how to handle it right before we let anybody else watch.
Listen, these are good times, and I just find it somewhat ironic that this morning we show up here at Viejas Arena. You got several thousand kids in line to get tickets for the New Mexico game, and here's Rocky Long, now the head coach here at San Diego State. You going to be at this New Mexico game?
I think so. Yeah. I think if I can get in. Yeah, it's funny. When I first got the job, I got right in, and I walked down, and I sat 2 rows back from the floor. Now I have to beg to get in, and I have to be standing room only. So, I mean, I understand. That's good. I'm glad it's that way. Yeah.
Well, one of our former interns, Smiley, who's a student here, he just showed up. Did you just get tickets? This is ridiculous. I got guys waiting all night long just to get tickets, and people are still showing up getting tickets. So, Coach, you better hustle. You got your ID? You got, like, your student ID or anything?
Oh, I have an ID, but I don't think I'm a student. I'd like to be a student, though. Yeah,
yeah, really, especially here. Yeah. Coach, pleasure to visit with you this morning. Thank you, and really looking forward to the start of this football season. We'll see you out here for some of these spring practices.
I appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, Coach.
Coach Rocky Long stopping by. Good job, Coach. Thank you.
Thank you.